morning. Today is day number 28 in our year's dedication to completing Workbook for A Course in Miracles. And today, Jerry Garcia and I are going to do this lesson together. Above all else, I want to see things differently. And this lesson, when you read it, is loaded. There's a line in it that says, the effect, if you could withdraw all your ideas, all your past ideas, and simply see the table without any preconceived notions or ideas from the past, or without anticipation of the future, you will be able to see everything. So look around. Today we are really given specific application to the idea for yesterday. In these practice periods, you will be making a series of definite commitments. The question of whether you will keep them in the future is not our concern here. And, that's one of the things the ego will immediately bring up. Oh, you're going to be able to do this all the time, blah, blah, blah. You'll never be able to do it. That's not our concern. If you are willing at least to make them now, you've started on the way to keeping them. And we are still at the beginning, which is an interesting statement, because at one point in time, toward the end of A Course in Miracles, he says this course is just a beginning. And I assure you that it is. In all the years that I've been working with the Course in Miracles since 1986, there have been so many new beginnings that each day can be seen as one when we can remove our preconceived ideas that today that we're in has anything relationship at all to what's gone on in the past, or if we remove the idea that what we're doing today has any association with what will occur in the future, because all of those are the machinations of the ego, and not necessary at all. You may wonder why it's important, for example, to say, above all else, I want to see the table differently. In and of itself, it's not important at all. Yet, what is by itself? Here we go. And what does in itself mean? You see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you're not seeing it all. You either see or not. When you have seen one thing differently, you will see all things differently. The light you will see in any one of them is the same light you will see in all of them. And there's a couple things I want to say about this. Number one is, I assure you that in any one single instant of seeing wholly, in that instant, even if that instant doesn't seem to last much more than a flicker, you've seen past space and time. And when that instant seems to end and space and time begin to flood your awareness again, you will no longer be looking at anything the same way as you previously had. Now, there's also the chance that in that instant, the totality of seeing everything anew, the way you do when you see things differently, the totality of that will alleviate you of much of the memory that you thought you had of the past, and your memory in and of itself will be changed as well. You may not remember the same things as you remember, and you certainly won't remember the past as you had remembered it before that instant of seeing. I think it's also important, and he gets into it a little bit further down the page, you will not question what you've already defined. And the purpose of these exercises is to question and receive the answers. and saying, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are committing yourself to seeing. It is not an exclusive commitment, and of course it wouldn't be, because for any one of you who have seen everything differently, or wholly and perfectly, or as a unit in a uni experience of light consciousness, you understand that it would be impossible for there to be exclusivity in the vision that you have, and that will stay with you. Not the frame, perhaps, wherein which you saw things differently, but the light of seeing things differently will remain with you, and you'll have it there to call upon whenever is necessary. There's something else I wanted to say about a lesson such as this. Above all else, I want to see things differently. There's been a tendency, and I've heard it in having conversations with other people who have been doing the course, yet perhaps is an indication of their not necessarily having the experience that this is pointing us to, based on the fear of losing their own self-construct and losing control over what they think is the environment that they've constructed to exist in as well. The idea that we want to see things differently does not require a definition of how we want to see things differently. It just requires the commitment to, above all else, I want to see things differently. There's this tendency to think that we understand the way we're seeing things, and seeing things differently would be seeing those in the opposite way that we're seeing things now. For instance, we say, well, I don't particularly like that. Well, if I see things differently, the Holy Spirit's going to show me that I like that. That's not what seeing things differently is. Seeing things differently has nothing to do with comparison of how you're seeing now with how you think you could also see if you were seeing things differently. And that there's a marked tendency in the separate ones who refuse to give up their identity to continue to use this to verify identity and allow the ego to co-opt these lessons so that the ego is doing them rather than you doing them the way they're designed to be done. And remember, the question of whether you will keep them in the future is not our concern here, nor, let's go back to the beginning, are these exercises in judgment. Because if you read this lesson, obviously, in the willingness to, as he says, when you say, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are making a commitment to withdraw your preconceived ideas about the table and open your mind to what it is and what it is for. You are not defining it in past terms. You are asking it what it is rather than telling it what it is. You are not binding its meaning to your tiny experience of tables, nor are you limiting its purpose to your little personal thoughts. And I suppose if you were a table maker, you may take exception and feel that he could be wrong about your experience of tables being tiny. But I assure you, if your experience of tables is based on the past, it is tiny, it is small. And it is that smallness, that escape from littleness to magnitude, a magnitude not of your making, but a magnitude of your own creative reality. That's going to begin to dawn on you. Yet, if you're a table maker and you take exception, there's fodder for forgiveness within your own mind, and you'll see what you need to let go of, your identity as a table maker. You could, in fact, gain vision from just the table if you withdraw all your own ideas from it and look upon it completely with an open mind. Now, he's making that suggestion. Whether you achieve that wholly or not is not his concern. Remember, there is no judgment. God does not judge. And I assure you that the entire lesson, the workbook of A Course in Miracles, as well as the text and the manual for teachers, it is an attempt to learn the value of non-judgment. And this, above all else, I want to see things differently by withdrawing your preconceived ideas, is the beginning of a recognition that you need not judge. For if you judge, you so will be judged, not by anyone, but by the judgmental nature within your own mind. A long time ago, one of the things I was told is to judge all of my judgments as false, all of my brother's judgments as false as well, yet judge myself and my brother as true. Because beyond our judgments, there's a real, whole, perfect soul, spirit, created in the likeness and similitude of our Father Creator, and there's no escaping that, thank God. This is another good paragraph here. This is loaded today. You'll not question what you have already defined. You could, in fact, gain vision from just a table if you would draw all your own ideas about it and look upon it with a completely open mind. It has something to show you. And I assure you, it's not just going to show you that it's a nice place to put your flowers or rest your Course in Miracles book on. It has something to show you, something beautiful and clean and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope, hidden under all your ideas about it is its real purpose. The purpose it shares with all the universe. And remember earlier on in one of the lessons, we learned that there is no difference between purpose and meaning of purpose. So when you achieve seeing any one thing differently in that experience, you will find your own purpose and meaning, because you're not separate from that table. You're not separate from anything, as a matter of fact. And in the nature of seeing things differently, you'll begin to see the nature of your own wholeness and perfection and your ability to see everything wholly. And in that instant, you will be changed, because you are changed right now in this instant as Joriana Garcia and I do this lesson. So, dear Prudence, won't you open up your eyes and look around? You're part of everything. In using the table as a subject for applying the idea for today, you are therefore really asking to see the purpose of the universe. And that seems to have been the preoccupation of the entire world and all of our disciplines: science, psychology, sociology, religion, theology, philosophy. They're all concerned with discovering our true meaning and purpose, and that of the whole universe. And here we are, only in day number 28 of a workbook of A Course in Miracles, and he's telling you not what that purpose is and what that meaning is, but he's giving you a key to find out for yourself what it is. And I assure you, no one has ever been satisfied with anything other than the result of their own thinking and the ideas that are in their own whole right-minded thinking, showing them exactly what everything is for. And once you know, you will know for all time. Now, you can continue in the denial of that knowing and try to operate as if you don't know, but you won't be able to for much longer. Hence the nature of miracles shortening the need for time and shortening the intervals of time that it would take previously to learn lessons that without the miraculous nature of your own seeing differently would not be afforded to you. And I'm going to add this. As you shorten your own time, you shorten the entire nature of time and hasten the day when all see wholly differently and all come to the same recognition that you may be coming to today. That's why it's A Course in Miracles and not A Course in Enlightenment, because, the idea of the revelation of the Father and the Son as being one is set in time, and that time is set for each and every mind by the mind itself. And the only way to hasten that time is through miracles. So the great need of the world now is not revelation. The great need of the world is the shortening of time, which miracles bring about. And again, it's a Course in Miracles. It's not a Course in Awakening. Yet in the miraculous nature of your own mind, as space and time becomes less and less necessary for you and it becomes shortened, somewhere in the entirety of space and time, and I assure you that all time is going on right here, right now. All time is going on all the time. Somewhere in all of the time that has gone on and is going on right now and will go on, somewhere in that time you did awaken. You did recognize your own wholeness and perfection. You did come to realize that you are resurrected and can't die. And you do know the truth, because in my own experiences of the wholeness and the recognition of the kingdom being laid out before us, there can be nothing separate or excluded from that kingdom. And you are a whole part of that kingdom along with me. And in that recognition and in that seeing, you have already seen as well. So I may be the slowest thing in the universe, and you're here to wake me up because I fell asleep for a second as well. So we're going to have a couple of we're going to have 2-minute practice periods 6 times a day. Using the table as a subject for applying today's idea, you are therefore really asking to see the purpose of the universe. You'll be making the same request of each subject that you use in the practice period, and you are making a commitment to each of them to its purpose, for its purpose to be revealed to you. Everything is endowed with the purpose of its creator. That includes you, because you can't be separate from everything. So in any single instant that you achieve the goal of this lesson, you will discover your purpose and the purpose of all the universe. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. And don't confine yourself to the attempt to let the ego tell you what that purpose is, because you won't get more than the result of your own thinking ever. And the limitations that we place on ourselves is based on the limitations that the ego gives us as it defines each and everything. And it's going to attempt to define this lesson for you, believe me, because it does not want you to find out that you never needed it at all, because there's no such thing as separation. And separation is the only problem, and that is the function of the ego, to keep you separate by keeping you in lack and need and in a condition of forgetting, being here forgetting, rather than utilizing your mind in the action of forgiving. So let that be today's lesson. And if you have nothing to do, dial up the Jerry Garcia band and listen to him sing Dear Prudence to you. Have a good day.